Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today let's take a look at another 4K release from Paramount Pictures. This is War of the Worlds on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Hey everyone, so thanks for coming back to the channel. Today, we're going to check out the visuals and the audio as well as the packaging and special features on this new 4K Blu-ray release from Paramount Home Entertainment. This is War of the Worlds. This is part of their sort of triple feature Tom Cruise 4K. I previously reviewed Top Gun, and thank you to everyone who watched that. It's getting excellent results, and we're getting a ton of views. Now I'm going to do War of the Worlds, and then we also have Days of Thunder. So all three of these are coming out at the same time next Tuesday, May 19th, but I got them in early to review them, and I'm happy to share my thoughts with you guys so you know whether they're worth purchasing. Now, if you like this sort of stuff, 4K and Blu-ray collecting, home theater, movies, reviews, unboxings, all that good stuff, if you're at all interested in collecting Blu-ray and 4K, this is a great channel for you. I think you'll really like it. Please subscribe, make sure you like this video, and let me know in the comments if you guys will be picking up War of the Worlds, Top Gun, or Days of Thunder. Maybe you're getting all three, but I'm always interested to hear what you guys thought in the comments, what you're going to pick up, so let me know there. With that being said, let's jump right into this review. So the visuals on this release are pretty good. Now, some interesting things about War of the Worlds is that it really was shot in a very particular style that Steven Spielberg chose. And so it's not going to be the most visually striking, clear, detailed, precise movie, but he's shot it on 35 millimeters. So we're definitely getting a possibility for a detail upgrade with the new 4K remaster. But he also shot it in a sort of way that almost made it feel older, almost like a throwback to old sci-fi movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s. And you can definitely tell that the grain is really heavy on this release. In the Blu-ray especially, the grain was really heavy. So now on the 4K, do we see an upgrade? I would say yes. I think detail is a lot better, but this is a very grainy release. Now it's surprising because this movie came out 20 years after Top Gun came out, but the Top Gun 4K looked more detailed and more precise with the grain structure than this did, but it's really an artistic choice. So Spielberg kind of went for the heavy grain, really old school looking picture on this, and so if you don't like grain, this is a very grain heavy, intentionally grain heavy 4K release. That being said, it is better than the Blu-ray. So if you had issues with the grain on the Blu-ray and you wanted a more clear and detailed picture, this is better. This is more detailed, and the 4K resolution helps to smooth out that grain a little bit more, make it more natural and detailed, but it is very, very heavy throughout. So that's something to note. The movie's also very dark, both in tone and visually. A lot of this takes place at night in very dark, crowded spaces, and so the grain stands out more in darker scenes. Grain just naturally, when things get darker, it's more noticeable, and so the grain is really noticeable in those scenes. But the HDR color here, the Dolby Vision and the HDR, really help that to balance better. I was watching the Blu-ray, and there's some scenes, especially when they're in sort of the farmhouse basement, which takes place kind of at the start of the third act. Those scenes were really dark and really muddy on the Blu-ray. Not that it was bad. Like, that Blu-ray is actually one of the better Blu-rays that was ever released, both visually and from an audio perspective. So this has a lot to live up to, but the HDR definitely helps with black levels, and it helps smooth things out between black, gray, white. We have all the different levels are nicely balanced because of the HDR. Now, other than that, the HDR doesn't get a whole lot of usage because there isn't really much color outside of really dark grays, blacks, and blues. The few instances of color come where there are a few explosions right about middle in the movie. I didn't see a huge upgrade in HDR there over what the Blu-ray gave me. And there was a slight noticeable upgrade in the red sort of vegetation that the creatures, the Martians, leave behind. But that still was pretty muted. And I do think it's a stylistic choice. So again, not a title here that 4K and HDR is really going to do a whole lot for, but that upgrade in detail and the upgrade in resolution helps. It makes it for a better picture. And yes, it's better than the Blu-ray. Am I as blown away as I was with Top Gun? I would say no, but there probably isn't as much to blow me away with. The previous Blu-ray was good. The movie was shot a certain way in a certain style. If you are just looking for simply the best picture on physical media disc, this is it. But at the $20 price point, it's a harder sell for me than Top Gun was. So now let's jump into the audio. The audio on this features a Dolby Atmos track, but only on the 4K disc, which is interesting because the Top Gun release that's paired with this has Atmos on both Blu-ray and 4K. This release just has the Atmos on the 4K, so that's a definite reason to jump to the 4K disc because this movie is an audio treat, much more than visual. The Atmos track here is incredible. The roar of the Martians, the explosions, the sound effects, things are just popping off all the time across your system. And the height effects especially, when you consider so much of this movie is juxtaposed between the person on the ground and this huge monster in the sky, you really get a nice sense of height and a nice sense of this massive sound space that they're playing with throughout the movie. So it's another great title that lends itself to Atmos perfectly, much like Top Gun. And so I'm very pleased to say that this is one of the better Atmos tracks that I've heard. It's probably going to be in my top 10 for the year. At this point, halfway through the year, I've seen enough that this would make the top 5 for the first half. So I'm certain it'll make top 10 for the year. It's a really, really nice audio track. If you have Atmos, you'll get to experience that in full detail. If not, the previous Blu-ray audio track, which is available here, the 5.1 DTS HD, also an excellent, excellent track. So don't feel like you're missing out on too much without the Atmos, but if you don't have the Atmos system, the reason to upgrade to 4K becomes a little bit less because you're getting the same track on the Blu-ray that was on the previous Blu-ray release. But overall, a great Atmos track with excellent sound throughout my room. Bass was really heavy as well. The roar of those machines, the bass, my subwoofer, my SVS sound subwoofer was just popping off the whole time, and overall just a great sound experience. So if you're looking for a real reason to upgrade to 4K, I'd say it's the Atmos track over the visuals in this case. Now packaging wise, we've got a pretty standard slipcover here, Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning front and center. Nothing really special there, nothing really special on the back of the case. On the inside, again, pretty bare bones, no disc art, nothing like that. You do get a digital 4K copy, which is nice. But maybe you could sell that off or do something to subsidize the cost of buying this. There's things you can do to or sell your previous Blu-ray, but overall not a whole lot here. The features, the disc just has on 4K just the feature film, and then a bunch of special features that are again ported over from the Blu-ray about the legacy of H.G. Wells, Steven Spielberg, and how he looked at the original War of the Worlds, the characters, production diaries, how they designed the enemy, the score, which is really important because the audio here is great. So there's some cool special features, but nothing really extra, and nothing on the 4K disc like we had for Top Gun. So far, I would rank this as not as good a 4K release as the other Tom Cruise movie that we recently reviewed. Now the big question comes down to, is this worth an upgrade? And in this case, I would say at the right price point. So Top Gun, I was sold. Spend the $20 and upgrade. On this one, I think this is one you could get for 10 bucks and be happy with it. The Atmos track helps, but the HDR and the visual upgrade is not that big over the Blu-ray to justify a $20 leap. It's just not that stylistically, the way it's shot just doesn't lend itself well to 4K and HDR, unfortunately. But it is a nicer presentation. So again, if you're all about owning the best version of this on physical media, the 4K disc is what you're gonna want. But I would suggest waiting on it and not paying the full $20. Find it on eBay or find a good deal on it coming up, maybe on Black Friday or some summer sales where they may put some movies on sale, or check Bull Moose and other places that may have used copies. That's going to be your best bet for this. I can't recommend a full $20 purchase just because it's not as big a leap as I wanted. But at the end of the day, if you have $10 and you want to upgrade your copy, you will be pleased with it. I'm just trying to save everybody some money. So that's about it for this review. That's War of the Worlds on 4K Blu-ray. Again, it's going to be available on May 19th. I will leave a link down in the description where you can pick this up on Amazon and pre-order it. If you are interested in pre-ordering it, it does help support my channel if you use my link, so I appreciate that. I also have some new merchandise. I also have some PayPal donation links and other ways you can support the channel. I had a user support today with a $10 PayPal donation, which was awesome. So shout out to them. I don't want to name names, but that was really cool. I want to give them a quick shout out. They know who they are. But just thank you to everyone who's been watching, subscribing. We've had so many new subscribers, new viewers over the last couple of months. So again, I just hope I'm providing entertainment for people in this kind of tough time. There's not a whole lot to watch when it comes to movies in terms of like new stuff. So I'm trying to cover the newest 4K releases, give you something new to look forward to, and just keep people entertained and keep you going. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, follow me on Instagram for all the latest up-to-date stuff, and just be safe, be healthy, and just keep staying home and sticking it out. You know, we got to be close to the end of this thing now, right? So hopefully we're almost there, and you're all enjoying your movie collections and staying safe and healthy, but hopefully we're back to normal soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.